Okay.
Is it working?
Now we're alive.
It is working.
We're live and alive.
We don't have Aram here to make like a silly pun or a weird joke.
He's gonna show us the way.
He always does.
He knows the way. You can grab that.
Did you guys write anything down last time? I missed the last one, right?
Yeah, it should be on there. Different page. Different page. That page.
Sex? Do we underplay its danger?
Yeah.
Wait,
that was my
risks
question.
/ danger. And then, if there is a conscious copy of yourself, do you both go to heaven?
Iron asked that. It's a pretty weird question.
I like that one. That's a good question. I'm gonna put a star next to it. And I like yours as well, because I heard someone talking about this the other day.
And what's yours?
I don't know. I just wanted to generally talk about like religion's role in society.
Okay.
Like whether or not it's positive or negative and shit like that. I want to do yours first. What were you thinking?
I was just thinking about like all the problems that come with sex, and I think people are being, I wouldn't say too open, because people should absolutely be open with sex, I think, and we should all know about it, but I think we underplay all the problems that come with it too, you know?
What do you mean?
Like emotional problems that come with
yeah.
it, the actual like physical risks of it, like we just say that we have the right to an abortion, all this stuff, but it's detrimental to the people that it affects and the people around, you know?
Yeah.
Diseases and whatnot that go with it.
Yeah. Do you think that the emotion side is inherent? Like, do you think there's really no way to subvert emotions with sex?
I feel like it's tough. Like, I don't think I could do that. I know there are people who just don't feel emotions, and they don't have a problem with it, but obviously that's a very minuscule amount of people.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think it's possible.
yeah,
Well,
I
I
definitely think
like,
it's possible, but
yeah.
it's just it doesn't happen with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I feel like anyone could get there, though. I feel like you just have to, like, get to that point where you could do it. You know what I mean?
Or you just don't give a shit.
Well, not even that, but, like, I think that two consenting, like, adults could have sex and have it not, like, mean anything feelings-wise. Right? I feel like that's not, like, super uncommon.
It's possible, absolutely. But I just think that you have to go through a lot of steps to get to that point.
Yeah.
Unless you're like somehow already there.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. I agree. I think we do underplay it a lot.
I think
That's
we're
crazy.
open about it in a good way, but we're not talking about the problems that come with it enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of interesting because it's just going to get like more and more open, right? Like, I can't think of something that would happen to have us close off to...
Yeah, there's no way we can put that back in the box. It's already
the bottle has been opened.
Yeah, it's been opened.
It wasn't open. Someone threw it on the ground.
Yeah, there's no way that bottle's come back.
Like, I was going to say something, but I don't think I should.
Okay.
But, yeah. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird how open people are being about, like, sex and all that stuff now. Like, if you compare, like, today to even just, like, 20 years ago, it's weird. Well, it's not weird, but, like, it's drastically different, it feels like.
Okay, let me ask you something. How do you feel about hentai?
What about it specifically?
I think that if any type of porn should be promoted more, it should be that.
Oh, because it's
Just
not real
because,
people?
yeah, it doesn't actually hurt anybody, you know?
Yeah, you think that... Yeah. Porn does, like, hurt people. Mm-hmm. Do you think it inherently hurts people? Or just, like, a majority of the time, the people involved in porn come out with a
inherently
negative?
no, but it absolutely...
It causes some fucked up shit.
It easily allows for shit to happen, you know?
You seen those places where I watched a movie the other day, and like the premise is set on like a real-ish thing, at least like this section of the premise, but there was like this house, and they had this guy go around recruiting like underage people to come to the house.
Yeah.
And then they all had their own sections off in the house, and then they were all doing like live cam nude stuff on like one website ran by someone who owned the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was sketchy.
I'm sure they'd make a lot of money off that.
Yeah, but like houses like that exist. The underage component, I don't know. I would assume that at least one of those exists somewhere. But
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, right. But you know, houses like that exist because I know someone who went to work at one of those places. Like, yeah, there's a place here in town where you go to work as like a live cam model, use a fake name, and they give you a room in this big office area, and they give you a room and like a laptop to use, and you just go for it. And then the company who owns the website owns the like warehouse, and they get a percentage of what you get. But
that seems like a weird thing to do just because what's the point of having that middleman, you know? What's the point of having them?
Yeah, well, I think that you get like more protection doing that through them. Like you actually know the people who run the website, they're not going to like sell your info or like, you know, because you're technically an employee. You know, like they're gonna help protect you if your ID, like who you are, does get leaked or anything like that. I think they would be responsible a little bit, but I don't know. That's a good point. Why not just go out and just do it?
I mean, if you're doing it yourself, like, I guess what can they do?
Well, maybe
I'm guessing that this place that you're talking about isn't underage people, right?
I don't think so. The person that I know that got into it,
I thought that you said it was, and I was like, wait, did he like know it was underage kids, and he just went for it? But
it was I think it was a girl, and she I think she just responded like a Craigslist ad or something, or she heard it from, I don't really remember.
Yeah,
I vaguely remember hearing something about a Craigslist ad, but I don't know. But
I don't know.
Yeah, like that's like when I heard that, I was like, whoa, that's real. And now that I'm thinking about it, so if that one website was popular and they only let people on that were in that warehouse, then, you know, you could kind of say like, hey, yeah, you could go do on another campsite, but no one's ever going to find you.
Yeah.
Whereas you can do it here, and we'll force people to like, you know, see you. And then
I feel like on those sites, people are found really quickly.
Like their actual identity?
No, just like
people.
Like in terms of like say streaming, and like people find an audience fairly quickly.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like just so many people are like the ratio of people doing it now, because just more and more people are doing it. I'm hearing about like more and more people that I'm like connected to by like a degree or two of connection are getting into it, and it's weird. Like compared to like, you know, years ago, like, you know, you wouldn't know anyone that does it.
Yeah.
Right. But now, like, maybe the audience of people who are into that went up or something, but I feel like there's just a drastically larger amount of people who...
I feel like it's just people have a lot more access to it, you know?
Yeah,
it's like a free website, so they can just go on there. Oh, they don't like this person, click. Oh, I like this person. Like,
is that kind of fucked up? They're just like, you? I don't like the structure of your face, so I don't like you, and then like you move on. Like,
I don't know if it's necessarily that. I mean, obviously there is that component to it, like, oh, I don't like what you look like, so I'm gonna go to the next one. But it's like, oh, I don't like what you're doing, or you're not satisfying what I'm trying to like get out of this, because people give money and you do things that they want.
I guess that makes sense.
But if you're not willing to do that, obviously you lose an audience. But I feel like it's just people who pay, you're only either satisfying or not living up to their expectations just for that one person, not a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I guess I don't know really how it works.
Yeah.
It seems like
it'll just be our next business venture, and then we'll figure it all out, and then we'll come back and report.
Yeah, we'll go for a year, and we'll come back like, okay, what did we learn?
I couldn't even imagine running one of those fucking things. That'd be crazy. That'd be a crazy fucking thing to do.
I mean, I'm for like prostitution, but I don't know if I'd be cool running.
Let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about like legalized prostitution. You think it'll like kind of subvert people doing it illegally and all the negative things that come with that? Is that the general idea? Because I don't really have a strong opinion on it one way or another.
If it was legal, it would not be illegal.
Well, you know, you would still have to, like... People still sell weed illegally here in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
you know
of course.
I mean?
I'm pretty sure there'd be, like, an age limit of people who work there. Like, I don't know if it would be 18 or 21. I'm not sure.
Age limit, there'd probably be other restrictions. You'd probably have to have a license to do it or something like that. You probably couldn't just walk around and, like, sell yourself.
But I feel like there would be a positive side of, like, you get checked frequently, like, in terms of your health.
Like, you should be required to.
Yeah, I'm sure that's definitely going to be required.
Yeah, but some people won't.
It would be free. It would be free for the people. So they
it would be free?
I'm sure it would be free. Like, if you have to stay on the job, like, you have to get frequent checks.
Yeah, like you have an employer.
Yeah, they wouldn't require you to get checked. Like, if it was legal, I'm sure it would be standardized and regulated. Yeah. So that might help quite a bit, and it might help the people who use that as a job and a source of income. Yeah. From being hurt or whatever. But obviously, there's only so much you can do. You can subvert a lot of the bad that's going on, but you can't get all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So, I'm pretty for it. It's like, I think it just hurts a lot more people. You're telling them that they can't do what they want with their body, you know? Yeah. It's like, that's the goods that they're born with. They can't use it. I don't think I'd do it. Would you do it?
Do what? Be a prostitute? I think that'd be hard. I don't think I could do it. I really don't think I could do it. Like, obviously everyone has their price. That's just a commonly known fact. Yeah. But I think, like, realistically doing it as a career, I don't think I could do it.
A career?
Well, yeah, man. It'd be a career for a few years. And then you get old.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, like, because you hear a lot about, like, women doing it to get through school and whatnot.
Yeah,
maybe
or
not
like
prostitution specifically, but like Pornhub or something like that. Yeah. If it were regulated, and say it were older, I'm pretty certain it would be like a 21 age requirement, or at least I feel like it would. If it were still that, people would still be doing it legally. Yeah. Because
I bet if they made it legal, but they made it be like required to be 21, I bet you a shit ton of people between 18 and 20 would do it still. Like a shit ton. Aaron's just salty because he frequents campsites. Yeah. And he participates in one. That's how he gets all his extra money.
Yeah. That's how he pays for everything.
Look, it's not his fault that he has a beautiful body.
Yeah, we don't know it, but he actually lives in a mansion because of his job.
He has the body of a Greek god.
Yeah. Yee.
I believe it. Everything makes sense now.
That's what he's doing right now. He's on the job. He's watching this. All right, you can go. I quit my job for another. Yeah, you quit your job for this one. You found how much money you can make, and you're like, God damn, I gotta do it.
I don't blame you, man. I don't know. Like, at the same time, though, like, I totally see why people do it. I bet they make just fucking a shit ton of money for doing basically nothing.
Well, yeah, I feel like that type of... I feel like it's a job that doesn't require any level of intelligence.
Well, you gotta memorize your script.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't feel like it, you know, because there's like a certain IQ that basically is a cutoff for you being able to do any type of job or any real type of job in terms of what's out there. Like,
but you can still do porn.
Yeah, but like if you're doing prostitution, you don't have to be any level of intelligence to sell your body, you know?
Yeah. I would be worried though that like those people would get taken advantage of in like other ways.
Yeah, it could be that, but
I don't know.
If it were regulated, I don't know. Obviously, we'd have to get to the point like, okay, what's good and what's bad? What can we do and what can't we do?
If those people can't take regular jobs, like from an ethical standpoint, can they make the decision to go into porn and let that happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think you'd have to also ask the question: are people who aren't a certain IQ or level of capability able to make decisions for themselves. Because I think they just say, oh,
Well,
you're a certain age, you can do it.
Well, I mean, at a certain point, like if you're under a certain IQ, you go into like a psych ward or something, don't you? Like if you can't function like at all, aren't there people who have some sort of mental issues to where their IQ is so low that they can't like even function really?
Well, yeah, I feel like that's a cutoff for people who are in that range or live that way. They wouldn't really want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that obviously they might, I don't know, but
Yeah, true.
I feel like if it were a regulated job, I don't think anybody would be able to take them.
You gotta memorize positions like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, up, down, left, right, left, right. You have to be a certain distance away to start your finisher.
Oh man.
All right, you can try your other one. Iram's question.
If there is a conscious copy of yourself, do you both go to heaven? So I'm assuming this is like, you know, you upload yourself to a computer and then it dies, and assuming heaven is real.
I think it was like a carbon copy. Like there's Matt, and then there's an absolutely same other Matt. The human body and everything.
I think you would. I think they both would.
I'm just thinking about it, like.
Well, because I feel like once you split, you become different.
Yeah, you
become.
I think that was what I had said when he brought that up. I was like, yes, because I think that's also asking the question, like, if there were two of you, are you both the same person? Like, you have the same makeup and everything beyond the point, or before the point that you were copied, but after that, you're two different people.
But if you were copied, and let's say that, like, by some magical way of dimensions or something, it was a copy of you that like you couldn't detect.
Yeah.
Like somehow they were in the same position with you at all times, but like theoretically there's two of you somehow. You see what I'm saying? Kind of like a ghost, like in your body.
In the same position? I mean.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be something that you could touch, but like let's just say there's like a crazy dimension or something, and the way it interacts with this world is that like there could be something that's like a copy of you in yourself, and we wouldn't be able to detect it. Not possible, but I'm just saying, like, theoretically.
In, like, a antimatter type way?
Yeah, so, like, imagine you, but there's another you within you. But it's not, like, inside your head or something. It's just another you.
Meception?
Yeah, pretty much.
Iception?
Like, what would decide which one of you gets to go to heaven, then, if it wasn't?
Well, what gets you into heaven is the question.
Not being a clone.
God damn it. Wait a minute. So does that mean in Star Wars, the Clone Wars, none of them go to heaven? They're all the same person?
Well, shit. Imagine heaven. Like, in Star Wars, you go to heaven, there's just a fucking million of one dude. They all go to, like, the same place.
The exact same way. Hey, hey. Hey.
But like they all say hey to you at the exact same time when you show up. It's just like a full like orchestra of hays.
They say hey normally, but it's like they're screaming at you. It's like a legion.
You know, dude, they should have done like a zombie Star Wars thing. Imagine like a shit ton of clones, but zombie clones coming at you. You have to fend them off with a lightsaber.
So like zombies.
Yeah, but like with
and
a
just
lightsaber.
a knife.
Zombies with a lightsaber, but like on a Star Wars place. That'd be a fun game.
I feel like it'd be fun.
Like it'd be kind of like, but I'm imagining like Battlefront 2.
It'd be a little overpowered just because a lightsaber would cut through.
Yeah, but like let's assume that there's just like a shit ton of fucking clones. Because there is, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could just kind of like spin in a circle, but like you have your back open, you know what I mean? Like they could grab you and then you'd be fucked, and then they're like biting your back.
If you spin fast enough, they can never get you.
You just stand on a pole and go like this for the rest of
on the, what is that little spinning playground thing?
Oh, yeah,
you just stand on there and just spin it really fast and just hold it out.
You see that video of the guys and they're on there and someone takes a motorcycle and they put the wheel on it and they rev the motorcycle to spin it really fucking fast?
I haven't seen that. That's pretty crazy.
So they go like flying off it. It's so funny. I think it was in Russia.
You've seen that video of the guy who sits in the chair, they like tie him down to that spinning chair, and then they I think it's like compressed air powered, and it just spins super fast. It looks like a fucking ragdoll.
That sounds fucking crazy. That would suck. I would puke like instantly. I can't handle all those G's, man. That's a lot of G's.
I can only handle so many
All
G's.
clones go to hell. Confirmed canon.
Well, now we know.
After the initial copy and cloning, the two identities would diverge individual memory forms. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Well, first we have to answer if there's a God.
Think emotion.
Here's my argument for this one. If all dogs go to heaven, I think all clones should also go to heaven. And I'm going to close it off there.
Wait a minute. I think all dogs go to heaven because
Except
they're all
fucked
good
up
boys.
ones. Yeah. All of them, even the fucking mean ones.
Even the women. They're good boys.
I don't know, man. Clones are dogs, confirmed. No, dogs are clones, dude.
George Lucas said so.
Wait a second. We're clones. We're just not identical clones.
What do you mean?
We were just created. We're a life form that was created. We're a clone of the other two. Yeah.
That's not.
We're a clone of you're a clone of your parents.
It's an amalgamation of both.
Yeah, clone.
I don't think so.
They cloned you.
I mean, I
and
get
the other is you.
I wouldn't say it's a clone. It's a 50-50 of both.
It's not an identical clone, is what I'm saying.
Oh, so it's like fraternal twins.
Yeah, you're a fraternal clone.
You're a clone, but you don't look the same. That's so dumb. Okay. So, what did you...
For religion?
Yeah, what's...
So, I listened to the Sam Harris podcast that had Jordan Peterson on it when I was driving back from Brian Head. And I was just listening to like them go back and forth about religion. It was really interesting. But it was like a lot of times where I felt kind of frustrated because it seemed like, and it's weird because I've never seen him do this before, but Jordan Peterson was kind of using circular logic at a couple points. And I don't know, it was weird, but that's just religion, you know, like
I feel like a lot of people who don't agree with Jordan Peterson say that he uses circular logic.
Really? I haven't really picked up on that in his other stuff, but this religion thing, I definitely...
Yeah, well, see, I think the problem with religion in terms of creating an argument for it is that it doesn't really transform for times, you know, in terms of what's going on in the world today and where we are technologically. It just doesn't change, so it's really hard to make an evolving argument when it's the same thing, you know?
Yeah. Like...
Per se. I mean, I guess the argument does evolve between people, but I'm just thinking like...
Yeah, but like the interpretation can change. That's kind of like when Jordan Peterson was talking about it. He was, like, he said, like, you know, like, this shit didn't actually happen, you know? It's like a pretty good coagulation of morals accepted by a society. And you know, that kind of continues on for a while. Like, morals don't change so drastically that it would fuck over a religion, and a lot of the times just the fact that the religion exists and it has a following will keep those morals going. You know what I mean? But I thought it was really interesting because at one point Jordan Peterson was going on for a while, like, explaining some sections of the Bible and, like, talking about their symbolism a little bit. And Sam Harris talked about something he had in one of his books. He said, like, he was just walking around a bookstore and picked up a random book, and it happened to be a cookbook. And then he looked at it, and then there was, like, some ingredients. Did you see that?
He made that argument in a few other podcasts, too, that he had.
I haven't heard the other ones, but the way he worded it in that one was, like, really good. I felt like it was, like, pretty solid for what it was. Because it was, like, kind of describing what I was thinking about it, but like I didn't come to like the full conclusion, and then him like giving that example kind of like got me the rest of the way for the most part, I think. But
I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
I'm trying to like boil down what he was trying to say, because I did hear his argument. I watched his podcast with Russell Brand.
I was gonna watch that one. I didn't.
Yeah,
yet.
he made that same argument about cookbook.
I mean, it's just interesting. Like, you can break anything down into something that relates to morals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's really a basis off of everything that we do, you know?
Yeah.
Because when we create a new thing, when we come up with a new idea, when we implement some type of policy or discuss it, we always boil it down to, like, first off, is this ethical? Is this moral? Does this go along with what we believe in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, like, even creating like a computer, you're like,
Yeah.
is it moral to do what needs to be done to make this computer happen, you know?
Yeah.
So,
do you think that if instead of religion we tried to make like a book that just laid out some generally accepted morals? Do you think, because what I think is that that's too direct. People would read the moral and go, I don't agree with that, this is done. But when you have the Bible, you let it be open to like interpretation, so you can come to like, you can make it conform to your own views a lot easier, while still maintaining views with other people in the same group because of interpretation.
well, see, I think a problem with just laying out morals, like, say, the Ten Commandments or something, you know what I mean? I mean, there's a whole story that goes with the Ten Commandments, but you don't lay out rules and not explain them, you know?
Yeah.
Or else people go against them. They're just like, well, I don't understand what's going
Yeah.
on. Like, if parents are telling a kid that they can't do something, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Or at least try to do it, because they don't understand why they can't. And usually, if you explain why in terms that they can understand, they won't do something, you know?
Yeah, but that's with kids, right? Because
Kids,
like,
parents alike, you know, if somebody like, I mean, even if I was in a classroom, a teacher was like, don't do that.
yeah,
And explain why. If it was something just minuscule and stupid, I'd do it.
yeah, but we're talking about like ethics, though, right? Like, if
Well,
we
I
were
mean,
like,
I
hey,
feel like
don't
it's
kill
still-
that person, but you can kill this person, or like something like that. Like,
Yeah, I think there are generally accepted things that, you know, that was the whole thing with the Ten Commandments, is that they were going through this journey, and he comes down with these tablets. Or when he went up there, he was like, oh my God, these tablets and like what I've written down or what God has told me is what we've been living by this whole time. We just hadn't actually laid it out, you know?
yeah,
So I think there are some generally accepted morals or ethics or understandings, and then there are some things that diverge out depending on where you're at or what period of time we're in, what culture you live in. Which is why it's like, I think that's an argument that people make when they're against like the death penalty. Like, you're telling them that they can't, it's illegal to murder people, then you're killing somebody.
yeah,
I mean, it's usually about like, oh, what punishment fits the crime, you know?
yeah. So,
But it's still just like going right back on what you said. You're just you're imposing something and not living by it.
Yeah. I see
So
what you're saying. Doesn't it like all break down to like either utilitarianism or like rules-based thinking? Like, when you break down an ethical issue to a certain point, like, you have to make an argument, or you have to base your argument off one or the other, really, right? Is there anything outside of those two?
I think if you boil it down enough, it gets down to,
What's like the base level? It's utilitarianism and something.
yeah, it basically that. It's either what seems to be the best way to go, like if you're looking at something objectively, versus what rules we have set out, and are we just going to follow them regardless of what the situation is, or because then if you're not looking at it like that, then you are going utilitarianism. You know,
Yeah.
you are making a rule based on the specific situation, or an understanding based off the situation that you're in right now.
Yeah.
So.
That's kind of why I never understood like arguments against utilitarianism.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you break everything down enough, like it all becomes trying to make the best outcome. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like even the other ideas of thought, like, oh, we should be a rules-based society, and it's like, okay, why? And they're like, well, because if we do rules-based, then we're all doing the same thing. And I'm like, so what you're saying is we're doing it because it'll have the best outcome, not just because.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
It's
that, like, I feel like there's something I'm missing there, and I really want to figure it out. I don't know. That's something I want to do more reading on.
I feel like it's something to do with the way you feel, feelings or emotions.
Yeah, but like
utilitarianism is just like if you're looking at something objectively, you're picking the best outcome. Not really based on what you. Well, I guess it's kind of based on what you want, because you obviously have an objective in mind, but.
Yeah. But like it doesn't take into account like your gut or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like.
And I don't think rules really take that into account either. Like when they're placed, I think they're a bit like that, but they don't really change for the situation. So then it's kind of that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the third is something that's really emotive.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I just feel like.
No, that makes sense. I almost feel as though like it's all stacked on top of utilitarianism, though. I almost feel like the base level is utilitarianism,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there you have like rules-based thinking, because the justification for rules-based thinking is a utilitarian view, and then the feelings-based one, that might not be based on it. I don't know. Like if you just do something because like you feel like it, that's kind of aside from any utilitarian.
Well, I mean, like,
decision,
what if that
right?
is like the base level for it, though? What if that's under utilitarianism?
Well, that would make sense.
I wouldn't really
like
say under it,
utilitarianism,
but maybe
it's
they
those
work
two
side by side a little bit, because what you base something off of, as when you look at something objectively, is you consider something the best outcome because it's something that you want, or something that's in the best. It's what's wanted by the people involved, or the outcome that you want, I guess.
Yeah. You think you can quantify feelings? Like, do you think that if you're having a conversation with someone, you have, like, can you quantify happiness? Do you think it'll ever be possible
to quantify it? I feel like we talked about this before.
Have we? Maybe.
I
think is interesting.
Something we talked about was like putting happiness on a scale or something.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to
not even just happiness.
Yeah,
but like
emotions. But we just pick happiness as just a base thing, or something to go off of. To quantify happiness.
Because like you can always compare it in relation to something else, right?
I think you may be able to quantify happiness, not overall, because everybody feels emotions different ways.
It would have to be like on an individual
quantify
basis.
it within a person. You know, because it's a chemical reaction in your body, so you're able to tell.
You think if we could poke around in there and we could like extract the amount of like serotonin or shit like that, not like actually take it out, but like observe it, like the physical amount, do you think that would go hand in hand with, like, do you think that we could come to some way to like determine how happy someone is at a certain point? If we were able to monitor like all their serotonin levels and everything in the brain throughout the day, you think we would be able to just have it be on like a chart? And do you think that would match almost identically with how their happiness would be? Not their perceived happiness, but like their true happiness, like that magical value that we're talking about trying to observe here.
Well, I think that's a little, just doing it off serotonin would be...
Not just that one chemical.
Yeah,
but
I feel like there's a few other things that go into it. You'd have to understand how that person's body specifically works, and how susceptible they are to certain chemicals in their body.
Mm-hmm.
But well, just for argument's sake, let's just say it is serotonin. You're weighing it that way. That would be kind of hard. I guess you would have to have some sort of machine in the body at all times monitoring your serotonin levels, because then you'd have to do some type of blood work or fluid work in your brain.
Yeah, I'm saying like theoretically, if we could just like point a ray gun at you and detect all these things.
You are on a 6.
You are... No, you're fucking pissed off, man. I've never seen anyone this angry, and you're smiling at me right now. I'm fucking freaked out.
That's kind of scary, though. You'd be able to walk around, and like people are just trying to put on a straight face or something, and you can point at them, and they're just like...
What if it was just a common thing people had? Like it was in phones, like a fucking GPS. You could point at someone and see how happy or pissed off they were. That'd be fucking... You'd have like a fucking lie detector with you at all times, pretty much.
I'd be scared.
That'd be fucking freaky. You think they would require it during like elections and shit? Think they would like have someone set up with pointing one at like the debate, both candidates?
I feel like you would be able to play the system, though. You know.
Really? You think you can manufacture happiness?
Well, people
you can manufacture inspirato.
People are able to get past like lie detector tests. It has like a 99%.
But that's like just rate. Heart rate, pretty much. Right?
Yeah.
It's heart rate, and then like the sweat on your finger, and then something else. I don't remember what else. I think it's like your breathing. It's those 3 that they check all at once.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so accurate. But like, you know, you can't change the... Like all those are voluntary except like the sweat on your finger. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Like you can't voluntarily just be like, oh, I'm happy. I'm fucking stoked right now.
But I feel like you're able to oppress some emotions in your body at different points, you know. Maybe not like fully, but you're able to waver them in some ways that you want. Because I'm just thinking, like, if once people understand how it works, they'll be able to play it in some way.
Like play the game.
Like say
that could be dangerous, though.
Yeah, when I was in my communications class, my first semester, at CSN, I did a presentation on how to detect lies, but based off like people's just natural reactions, like questions or based on the interview and whatnot. And I started off by explaining how it worked, and I was going to demonstrate on a person, but the hard part is that I told them how it works, and then they consciously thought of like not doing that specifically, you know.
Yeah.
And I kind of made it up like the night before. It wasn't too well thought out, but
it's like if you just switch those explaining it and doing it, if you just switch that, that'd be great. Yeah.
If I had thought about it more, I probably would have just switched around. Because like if somebody's lying, they usually like look in a specific direction, or if they're trying to think of something, they'll look to their right.
Yeah,
like it's like based off on like their right or left hand, something like that. I would just flip it around, I guess, and at the end I'll be like, oh, it was actually this way. You were lying. You're a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, but like at the same time, if they're consciously doing it in one direction instead of letting it be totally natural,
so
that might skew your shit.
It was just the problem with like we had to explain it in some way. So, but I guess it was also my fault for not setting it up too properly.
Well, yeah, but like that sounds like a kind of weird assignment.
It was tough, definitely tough, but it was like a pick your own, you know. I picked that myself. Mm-hmm. That's what I ended up picking. So I don't know. What do you say?
Measure neurotransmitter levels. I don't know, man. Like when I said it, I was kind of thinking what Connor said, not like to that full extent, but like you don't know how that shit actually plays out in the brain. I'm just wondering if like. It might not be exact, but I wonder if it would be close enough to get like a general idea to a certain degree of accuracy. You know what I mean? Like if serotonin's just shooting through the roof in your brain, and that general like ratio of chemicals in your brain happens consistently when you're like really happy, then maybe we could kind of detect it. That'd be interesting.
I feel like there's definitely some way to detect it to a degree. Like, I don't think we'd be able to get it, perfect, even down to each person, but but I mean, if it's only so much, it only tells you so much. Would it really even be anything that you can base anything off of?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
exactly.
If you're not able to get it to like a 99%, like in terms of like lie detectors.
Yeah, well, like if you can't get it within 99%, like true accuracy, but if you can get it, like, what is it? Because it's consistency and accuracy, right? Precision and accuracy, right? Like if you could get it within like 10 ticks or something out of like 100, you can be pretty close.
Yeah, that's usually what you do. You need that release. I only get 3. Damn. Well, jacking off, I get 5. So.
I get 3.2.
Yeah.
Got to make that efficient.
I think it. Just the way I was thinking about what he said about Freud. I was thinking of some way to refute that. He says the ultimate drive is sex or desire for it. And I'm like, well, what about people who just don't have any sexual drive?
Yeah, what about asexual?
Yeah, people who just don't have any sexual drive. But a lot of people, they only look at the bad sides of what Freud found out and discovered. And I'm like, he figured out a lot more than we know, or a lot more than we like to understand, and it just was assimilated into society so well. I mean, it's so widespread that we just look at all the bad parts they did, and we don't appreciate all the good stuff that he found out.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, that's just a thought I have.
Let me ask you this. This is a crazy question.
Okay.
So, this is similar to the glory hole question.
God, there you go.
But pretty different. Okay, so if sex is like the sole driver, I'm saying if, like my opinion, I don't think it is. But sex is, or just, I guess based on your opinion of that, if you have one person trapped in a room with nothing to do, is that one of the reasons why they go totally fucking crazy? But then
that they don't have sex?
Yeah, that they can't even pursue it.
Yeah.
But then, like, if you have another room and you put 2 heterosexual guys in there for 5 years, are they gonna go gay? Are they gonna do some gay stuff because they're seeking sex? And then, like, you don't think so?
I don't think they'll be gay per se, but they probably will partake in same-sex acts.
Well, you think they'd still be straight?
Yeah, well, it's just like what the Spartans did. When they go off to war, it was all men. They would have intercourse with each other, whatever they need.
Man's got needs.
Yeah, pretty much. But they had wives and stuff back home, so.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That'd be crazy.
Makes me think, like, what do we define as bisexual then? Is it because that they...
Yeah, true. Is there like a difference between just wanting to get your rocks off and then being sexually attracted to the male physique?
Yeah, because I feel like, I mean, for me, I have to have some sexual attraction for something to happen, I can't just be like, oh, I need to get my nut. Here, come jack me off.
Yeah. So then it was a little gay.
I mean, yeah, I guess so, I guess maybe after just need my nut, yeah.
Sure, you just need my nut.
Well, I'm thinking, like, there is only being around men for that long, that period of time, actually make you attracted to men? Or not? Newt. Just need that'd be you. Oh, you just go around if it was only guys, like, hey man, jack me off. I need my newt. I don't know, that's a tough question. Let's run an experiment. Let's put Ben and Andy in the same room for 5 years and see what happens.
No, because we already know what would happen. 2 men enter, 1 leaves.
$20 is $20. You got it right. I'm so glad that's on a shirt. $20 is $20.
How much money would it take for you to kill someone? If you assume that you got away with it.
Is just killing anybody. Is it like of my choice or?
So you don't know who it's going to be, but it's no one within 3 degrees of socialization to you.
So they're basically either acquaintance or a stranger.
No, it'd be a full stranger. So it couldn't be anyone who knows someone that you know.
So it's just set up where I get away with it and I wouldn't even know who it is.
Yeah. And no one you know would be really affected that much.
How much money would it take? I guess it would depend on the specific situation, you know, because I don't want like an unlimited amount of money.
So
I'd just be like,
it's kind of like that movie. You ever see that movie? You push a button, right, and you get $1 million. You ever see that movie?
I haven't seen that movie.
I didn't watch it. Yeah, this guy just shows up at this couple's house and he's like, "Here's a box and a button. If you push the button, you get $1 million, and someone dies." That's it. It's kind of like that. I'm proposing the same premise, kind of.
Yeah.
You just get, it's like a button. You don't see it happen or anything. Or, okay, yeah. It's just a button. Just push it, they die.
Somebody dies.
Yeah.
What amount of money would I want? I'll just save it right now. I'd probably go with like $500,000.
500,000.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I could have any amount of money that I want.
Yeah, but like we're just saying the minimum.
Really, yeah. So probably like $500,000.
Yeah.
Somebody dies. Give me half before and half
after. Gas money is expensive as fuck, so maybe $30.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
What's your minimum?
I think I'd do it for like $10,000.
$10,000?
Yeah. You
need that much money right now?
Well, it's not even just about right now. It's just about like.
That's what I base it off.
So
of.
if I know that no one else will ever get the option, and I know that I can only push the button once, I think my minimum would be, probably like $10,000 or something. Because if I know that it's widespread and a bunch of people could do it, like, it's kind of like voting. Like, if I choose to do it, then, there's a greater chance of other people choosing to do it. Not because of my action, but because of, like, the conclusion I come to.
Yeah.
And, as long as I don't base it on that premise, which I would be doing now, so that kind of, like, defeats the purpose. But, yeah, I think, like, it doesn't affect me at all, and one person dying probably wouldn't send shit into like a crazy spiral, because like the whole thought experiment is just supposed to be like it's a random person. It's not like anyone targeted, so like the odds of it hitting anyone that would actually make any sort of impact in the world would be low. But at the same time, I wouldn't just fucking do it for free. You know what I mean? But
you press that button, you see just fucking president's head explode. Your idol's head explode.
That'd be crazy.
I'd be like, $20 is $20.
Jordan Peterson will live on in my new.
I'd have to say that to myself like fucking 50 times over. $20 is $20. $20 is $20.
Oh my god. Wait, is it tax free? If it's taxed, it's got to be more than $10,000.
Yeah, if it's taxed, probably what, 20,000. It's usually about half, right? No, I think it's like.
Well, it depends. If it's
I forgot what amount of money. I think it's like $3 million or something. If you're gifted $3 million from somebody.
Well, you'd be providing a service.
Yeah.
So you would probably be employed. They'd have you fill out a W-2, and then you push the button.
Yeah, that. Yeah, for sure. I don't. Would you be an employee? you'd be an employee for the second that you press the button, and then afterwards the company goes away because you said nobody else gets it, right? Nobody else has that opportunity.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm currently employed. What's your job?
I killed a dude with a button.
What's your job? If I want some money right now, I get to press a button, but only one time.
That would be crazy. Okay, so let's say it is set at $10,000, but you get to keep the button and the button never expires. Holy the button. that would.
It's my money and I need it now.
You'd be like, wait a second.
Let me just press.
You know, the population's pretty high.
Times.
I could do some population control and get rich.
Yeah. How'd you get all this money? You see that button? Press it.
Wait, but where does that money come from? Who pays you?
It just magically appears. You steal it from the people that die.
What if, okay, that's a fun question. So the button now kills someone, but you gain their net worth. So on average, you would be getting the net worth of the average person.
So you hit like, it kills like a homeless person. You press it, you
get like
negative $2. Money. Takes away money.
They're in debt.
You get their debt.
Damn, think about how many people are in debt. That'd be a risky click.
That's a good question. You press the button.
I would.
You have the ability to gain their net worth, but you also have the ability to gain their net debt.
Yeah. How many times? That's just a statistical problem then. It's like, do you push the button at all? Or if you push the button like 30 times, would you statistically come out at a loss? Or?
I mean, possibly. I don't know. That's just to say that like...
Wait, hold on, wait. Okay, so... Yeah. Fuck, I don't know, man. That's a big question. Does the average person... Because if you think about it, all this money comes from somewhere. There's like a base level of money, and when someone owes someone else money, that money exists somewhere else on someone else's thing. Mm-hmm. So if you hit that person, you would gain their like potential payment of the debt. You know what I mean? Like if the homeless person owes the bank a certain amount of money, but you kill someone who's a stockholder in that bank, you're kind of getting a portion of what that debt would be. Does that make sense? Like that debt exists in other people as well. It's not just one person is at a negative. It's one person is at a negative and another person or group of people is at a like net positive. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
I think we're diving way too far into it. Okay, so the button just is... Yeah, see, I feel like if you do net worth, then you're just like, oh, okay, well, what's the statistic?
Yeah. Okay, what if...
I feel like either way, you'd still be gaining money, so it's like, press it. Damn, $5. Somehow this guy just died, damn it. Or it could be somebody who's in debt, because they technically don't have any money.
Mm-hmm. What if... Okay, hear me out. So you get the box, right? And you're told the rules, like you gain their net debt or worth, everything. Mm-hmm. And someone else gets another box and they're not told the rules. They're just told to pick someone that they would want to die. So they type in a name and then like assuming it actually is picking that person that they intended, not like mixing up names or anything. Mm-hmm. So one person decides who dies. It's not just random. Would you do it? If you're told that someone else somewhere is picking who it is, it could be anyone now, kind of.
So a random person's picking whoever they want.
Yeah, to die.
And you're still getting their money?
Yeah. So you got to think you would be killing people who are consistently disliked, right? Because the average person would be picking people who are bad people, right? What is that even emoji? Is that a hazelnut?
That looks like a drunk chocolate or something. I feel like I wouldn't press it. Because then it would just be somebody that they hate, you know?
I'd press it. You know why? It'd be Donald Trump, and I would get all his money. And he would be dead.
On
Two
average,
for two.
it would be,
Yeah, I feel like
a 50-50.
Yeah, I feel like people who would put Donald Trump in the box is like drastically higher than anyone else that would be put in the box. I don't agree with him being assassinated or dying or anything like that. I don't think that that would be a good thing at all. But statistically,
I think you're okay with that because you're statistically, you're like, it might be him.
Well, yeah, but like he has a high net worth.
Yeah.
So I would be like, okay, if I push this button, it's probably going to be Donald Trump. So I would probably get a lot of money. Right?
Press it.
What if he just died right now?
Look at your bank account. Billions of dollars. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Let me check.
I don't know. Like, what would you do if you just suddenly had billions of dollars in your bank account?
I would call the bank immediately. I've heard, obviously these are anecdotal from like unverified sources, but
Yeah,
I've
but
heard that sometimes, I've heard
yeah.
the bank can fuck up and give someone else's money to you. And if you spend it, you
that
still
money,
owe the
they
bank
take
that money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you gotta
I feel like
check that shit.
I would take the money. If I saw that, I would take the money and move to a different country.
Just like take
Just
it
take
out
in
of the
cash as much as you can and move to a different country.
Dude, you'd get flagged so fast. Just going around to a bunch of different ATMs pulling out all your money. Because if you went,
if you went to an ATM, I would. Well,
if you went to a teller, they'd be like, "Why did you get $5 billion? You showed up here in fucking torn jeans and a like backwards ball cap."
Well, I feel like I wouldn't be wearing that.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. They'd be like, "You're just a random fucking dude. Like your highest transaction so far was $500. Why did you just get $8 billion?"
Okay, well, here's something I do. I'd probably buy things that are really expensive.
Like online or something?
Well, I mean not that like really expensive cars or jewelry and stuff. Then you could sell that probably for like 10% less than you bought it for. Like you take it somewhere else, then you go sell it.
Yeah,
And then
that's assuming a card doesn't just get declined for unusual activity.
Yeah, I guess so. Unusual activity is usually like how often you're buying stuff, not like what you are buying.
You know what I think I would do? I think I would go to wherever I could get the biggest loan possible, and I would be like, "Hey, here's my bank account information. You can type that in right there. Just go to my bank's website and sign in." So that's how much I have. I want to make a gigantic business loan, and I would just pull out as much as I possibly fucking could, and then I would just bail. I'd be like, in this secondary account, I want all of it, and then I would just take it all out in cash, or I would buy like a few cars or something, because then it's a business account, so large transactions would go through.
Yeah.
And then I would just take all that shit and fucking leave.
Just run away.
Yeah. Well, because like if you think about it, if you game the system on your bank account, they have like your social and everything. You're going to get targeted to pay that debt. Mm-hmm. Same thing's going to happen if you go and get a loan somewhere.
I guess so. Like how big of a loan?
I don't know. I would just be like, there's $4 billion in my bank account right now, so I could pay you back $4 billion. Just give me $1 billion. I want to make a really cool new internet.
I want to make a giant house, and I'm gonna sell it.
I'm gonna sell it for $2 billion. Give me one.
Give me $1 billion. I'm about to make this $2 billion. I'm about to be a billionaire.
I'm gonna wholesale buy exotic cars and sell them. They're gonna be like, okay, that's some rich kid shit, no problem. And then I'm gonna buy all those cars and I'm just gonna take them somewhere. I'm gonna chill with my cars.
Just go to an island and drop them off.
Well, no, I would buy like a beach house somewhere crazy.
Yeah.
And then I would sell it for cash to someone. And I would take that cash and I'd go fucking do something else. With all my exotic cars as well.
I would buy property, put it under somebody else's name, that I would make that my secret like identity.
Put it under Miles' name.
I mean, I guess you could do that, like fuck him over completely.
Just put it under Jess's name. She won't know for another like 8 years.
And then her credit will just be shit.
People fucking do that. It's fucked up.
Put it under somebody else's name.
In their family, yeah. People will do it for like young people in their family. Mm-hmm. I've heard. That's so fucked up.
That is pretty fucked up. Yeah, no, I put it under some name that I'm gonna change my name to, or like I'm gonna become that person, and then I won't have to pay the debt.
Now we're just talking about like
how to get away with it.
Yeah.
Because I want the money, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so how about this? If you found $1 million in a bag somewhere, what would like? Okay, let's say you find $1 million at UNLV with just an average amount of people around, but like not enough people around the bag to make you think that it's someone's bag.
Or at least whoever owns the bag is around.
Yeah, like you can't, it doesn't seem like anyone is there like watching the bag or anything like that.
I probably wouldn't take it.
What if it was like in an empty classroom with no cameras in it?
I probably still wouldn't take it.
Really?
Yeah. Because if there's some shit that's just tied to that, it somehow gets traced back to me. I don't have the money. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that.
What if it was like $1 billion?
What if it was $1 trillion?
What if it was
in one briefcase?
Yeah, it's $1 zillion Zimbabwe note, and you don't understand, and you're like,
there's a lot of zeros in here.
Zimbabwe is like 2-to-1 ratio.
There's $1 trillion in that briefcase. That one right there, that little briefcase. Open it. It's just a check that says $1 trillion. Or it's one of those like $1 billion notes, those fake $1 billion notes that you can get up at like a vending machine or something. Brothers. I am here.
Aram's about to be like, I found $1 million. What do I do?
Brothers, I found my queen.
It's $1 million.
All I need is money. Money. What? What do you want, Iram?
I remember waiting. He said yes.
Oh, he found some money? Okay, cool.
Okay, here's what you do. You burn it. Just burn it. And then leave.
You burn $1 million.
You burn the $1 million. Because think about it. If you leave it, you saw it. And if they find out that you were there, you're fucked. Because then they're like, hey, you saw evidence of our shady shit. If you take it...
Burn the wife? No, burn the money.
Burn the money.
Unless the wife turns out to be or have all the money, then burn her and take the money.
If she's made of money...
Burn the money.
Like that Geico commercial with the guy who's made of money or whatever. You see that?
Oh, yeah, and then like take like dollars off of it. But then you burn their money. Just burn everything.
No, man. Just
burn it all.
Burn yourself.
Burn it all. Yeah.
Like if you ever look at $1 million, just light yourself on fire.
I'd probably do that. Oh my god, $1 million. I can't decide. Drink gasoline. Would you ever drink gasoline?
Why would I drink gasoline?
I'm asking if you would.
Is it supposed to fuck you up?
I think so.
I would drink gasoline, but then I would eat a match. That was it. Just to see what it feels like.
You can get one of those, what's it called? I don't know what it's called, because the match would just go out once it gets inside your mouth.
Get a butane torch on my tongue. I'd pour the gasoline down my throat, but like not like totally swallow everything in my mouth, and then I would light that. And then I would take liquid oxygen and I would splash it in my mouth.
I feel like all this would really hurt before you even get to the...
If you splash liquid oxygen on the fire, your whole head would just pop.
Yep, pretty much. But I saw $1 million, so...
Yeah,
that's what I'm going for. I'm trying to die right now because I can't decide.
What if you just found a Rolex somewhere? Would you take it?
Yeah.
Get home, it's fake.
I'd be like, well, nobody's really losing anything then. It's fake.
I think if I found it, I would scope it out for a while, And then if someone picked it up, I would walk over and I would go, dude, that's mine.
Oh, hey,
And
thanks for mine.
if they were like, what the fuck, this is mine, then I'd be like, oh, have you seen a Rolex? But if they were like, oh shit, yeah, you're right, here you go, then I would just take it and I would like leave as fast as I can.
You're like, oh, you're actually giving this to me? Yeah. Oh. I didn't think it'd be that easy.
Well, yeah, like it avoids someone else just stealing it, but at the same time, like you can scope it out and make sure that the owner isn't gonna like come grab it.
Yeah, you also get the money.
No, I just have a Rolex now.
You're not gonna sell it. You're just gonna keep it, bro.
It depends. It depends how expensive the Rolex is.
Well, what if you go, like, say you go to a jeweler or something, so they can inspect it and give you a price, and they look inside and it says like property of like Donald Trump or something.
I would wipe the blood off it and I would sprint out there as fast as I could.
That'd be scary.
That'd be fucking terrifying. If they're like, hold on 1 second. They call the fucking police.
This guy stole from Donald Trump. I run away. So I don't think we even like talked about the question that you had.
I was talking about religion's
Yeah,
role in society. Like
you said, it was like viable. Do you think it's viable?
not like viable, because I don't even know what viable would mean in that sense. Like, is it viable to have a belief like that? I mean, obviously it is because people are doing it. I don't.
Okay, let's not say viable. Let's say.
Do you think
Useful. However you want to describe it.
Yeah.
However you want to describe it.
so? I want to make it clear that I'm not saying that I'm saying organized religion. You can still believe in God and all that shit and whatnot. But like an organized religion, do you think that they still have a place in complex society today? Like if it didn't exist, like if we just got rid of it tomorrow, and we totally ignored all the people that would be up in arms about it, and we just, everyone went on another day, do you think that the world would be better or worse off?
I feel like it would really cause, because there's so many people that are part of it. Like if you look at Islam, it's fucking like 1.6 billion people.
Yeah,
religion.
Areas like that, I don't know about this thought experiment, because like the whole idea is that we go straight from a world that has religion to like a world that never had religion, but that's like a bigger thing. I don't know.
Yeah, a world that from this point forward never has it.
Yeah, people would be fucking pissed. And big areas like in the Middle East and stuff, they wouldn't know what the fuck to do. They would have nothing to do. They'd be like, wait a second. They would fucking kill themselves. A lot of them just fucking kill themselves, I bet. Like, what do you do? Like, if you believe that shit so hard, and then if one day it just comes out and they're like, hey, so God's not real, and like the church agrees with us.
We had a way to prove it. We had a way to
So
prove that God
the
doesn't
Pope
exist.
decided to dissolve Christianity and the Catholic religion completely. Pope is Catholic, right?
I think Catholicism is a sect of Christianity. Christianity is like a blanket word.
Yeah, the Pope just decides, he's like, you know what, guys, I was looking over it, and we're better than this. Like, you know what, let's just...
You know what? I quit.
None of this shit happened. God may or may not be real, but you should still probably be nice to people a lot of the time. But figure that out on your own. Don't use this book to fucking...
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
He fucking walks out.
Yeah.
He jumps off the balcony at the Vatican.
As Pope, I say there can be no more popes. From this point forward, I quit.
am the last Pope.
I
am
am
the
last
great Pope.
There's no more popes. I am the last. I don't know. I don't know what would happen. Okay, well, let's try to dumb it down a little bit.
You want to just talk about America? That might be a lot simpler.
Yeah, let's just say in America there's no more organized religion. First of all, what would they do with all the buildings?
Schools.
Turn it into schools.
Or just general public infrastructure type buildings. Like you can convert all of them to like schools or, I don't know, government buildings, or demolish it and make them parks. We could sell them as homes, and then we could use that money to like build new roads or shit. I don't
Sell
know.
churches at home.
Whatever is next on the money list of what needs to be paid for.
Yeah, I feel like here's something I feel like would happen is that people would, if they just sell it, like say just put it up on the market and people could buy it, I feel like people would buy these buildings,
And then just run a church out of it.
more or less. Yeah, they don't call it an organized religion, but they say, oh, you can come here and practice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people would.
But they would like
circumvent
charge a fee
it.
or something.
Yeah, and plus, like, you know, if it was being sold, you know, the churches still own it. They would get the money. The state wouldn't get the money. But I'm just saying, like, for this theoretical thing, if we dissolved religion as a government and then we sold the buildings and use that money to better the society directly as possible,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And what if, just humor me, what if people just used them as homes? What if no one tried to make another church? Absolutely impossible, but like, if that world existed, would we be better off? Or would we be worse off?
Well, that might also be, like, say that, like, if we're dissolving organized religion, we also, like, just to play some devil's advocate, the people who run the religion or own that property at that time, like, lose ownership of it or something, I'm not sure. And, like, the government owns it, or they're selling it or something. Would they just turn that into housing? I feel like that would be somewhat of a solution, just turn it into, like, some form of public housing for people.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because it's, like, it's already there.
Yeah,
It's
or like
already set up.
museums, maybe. I feel like
Do
a
the
museum
same.
might be a good option. Because public housing, like, it would require a lot of like separate rooms and stuff like that. You know, like
Yeah.
it could be like an apartment complex. What if fast food was banned? Just blanketly banned. No fast food.
You know what would happen?
People
Nothing.
would get skinnier.
Well, people would lose weight, but think
Fucking
about this.
Uber,
the people
Uber
who,
Eats and Postmates would make a fuck ton of money real quick.
well, getting rid of fast food.
Yeah.
Get fast food. Why?
Yeah, well, because if they got rid of fast food, then the next easiest way to get food without, like, you know, going in and sitting at a restaurant, which is now the only option, would be to order from Postmates or something. They would go in and, like, get the food and get it to go or
basically,
something.
like,
and then,
just order the food and then they pick it up and bring it to you. They would make a lot of money. A lot of people would have a lot of jobs. Jobs.
but it would not recoup the jobs lost.
Well, okay, something that I was thinking about, it's like, if fast food was just banned tomorrow, and whenever we're talking about something being banned, we think about people who would be in, like, uprising against it, or, like, causing trouble, or be upset about it.
They're too fat to speak up.
They would speak up, but they wouldn't go out and, like, protest or anything.
Yeah.
Or they'd come out on their scooter.
Yeah.
Give me back my food. Give me back my McDagnalls.
At first you took away my guns,
Now
now
you
you
take
take
away
back
my
my
chicken
McDonald's.
nuggets. Give me back my goddamn chicken nuggets.
I need my Big Mac.
Give me my nuggies. You'd be
What if-
upset.
No, I'd be
Give
fine.
me my fucking canes, bro.
What if, instead of just taking away fast food, we just outlawed drive-thrus and to-go food? What if you had to, like, go in somewhere and sit down to eat?
To go food. Are you saying, like, they can't take food to go, or they can't order
They can't.
stuff?
They can't order
and
stuff
leave?
to go. Yeah, like anything you take away has to be after you eat your meal, or at least like attempt to. Like you have to sit there for a while. If you want to just take the food and fucking leave, you have to sit there and wait for it to get cold and take it home and reheat it.
I was gonna say, well, if they ban, like, ordering it and leaving,
Yeah.
or ordering it to go, I'd sit down. Okay, I'll get this. Eat a little bit. Okay, can't eat a box.
Get a box and leave.
And
Yeah.
leave.
No, you'd be required to be seated for
5 hours.
25 minutes. 25 minutes. Less than half an hour, but more than 20 minutes. 25 minutes.
25 minutes after you get your food?
After you order.
Well, then I feel like because it would take about, like, at most 25
actually,
minutes to get your food. So I would say 25.
I'd say like 15, 20 minutes after you get your food, yeah.
I feel like you're already sitting, so you just might as well eat, you know?
Exactly.
They do people out there.
I think it would make people like less lazy about food, though. Because you would have to cook at home now, right?
Well, they just plan their day around going out and getting food, you know?
Yeah, but that's like a huge time commitment. Like, the time commitment to going somewhere and sitting down and, like, eating compared to, like, getting fast food is, like, drastically different.
I feel like people would find a way around it.
Oh, well,
you know
yeah.
what they would do?
What would they do?
A service would be made where people would go in. You have people go,
like,
order the
Postmates,
food and sit there for you.
and wait and then take it to you. Yeah. Postmates would just be, like, twice as expensive now.
Yeah, they would just have a new service where it's like, oh...
That'd be their only service. There's no other option.
Yeah, I guess so. They would just transform right into that.
Yeah. Be crazy, man. What do you think? What if they forced everyone to be vegan? What if one day they were just like, hey, you know what? Fuck you guys. This shit's fucked up. Everyone's vegan now. No animal products in anything. Fuck you.
Well, for one, we'd get a lot healthier. We'd drop health, like heart problems, like the percentage of health problems in the population by like close to 90%. What we have right now. It would more or less disappear outside of what genetically happens, you know. And that's like the number one problem in America, right? Heart disease.
That was obesity.
I think the number one killer is heart disease in America. Number one like health problem I think is obesity. Or we're like number one in terms of body weight per person, however they quantify it.
Yeah. That'd be crazy. The whole fucking country would fall apart. We would go under in days.
Maybe, I don't know. All I'm thinking, like, would you just say, okay, there's no more animal products, can't buy them, or do you just under the table make everything vegan?
What do you mean? Oh, like secretly turn everything vegan but not tell anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we did that.
Well, that'd be fucked up because
that way you could get away with that.
Well, yeah, but like if you do that, you're robbing people of the nutrients that they think they're getting, and people might go like deficient in things because they thought that they were getting it in their food, but now they're not because it's plant-based or something like that.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, think about the placebo effect, you know?
Well, yeah, but that's not going to like give you all your micronutrients.
Yeah,
and
but
if you're
it's
deficient,
plant-based, you're going to get a lot more
enough
micronutrients than...
Yeah, but you still miss stuff. It's easier to miss stuff.
Doing what?
Like if you go full vegan?
No, it's a lot easier to get stuff that you need.
Not everything. Like you'll still be deficient in things.
I said it's a lot easier to get what you need in terms of...
Yeah, I'm just saying like...
generally.
I'm saying like people wouldn't know. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't... Like they'd be like, oh shit, I'm getting no iron. I should be taking iron supplements because, you know, the diet that I was having, it was replaced with something that has virtually no iron.
Yeah, well, okay, if you think about it, so you can break it down a bit. Let's say McDonald's replaces all their burgers, right? They're doing it with beans. That there are 4 staples that you need if you're eating vegan. It's beans. I can't remember what the fuck it was. Beans, starchy foods like potatoes, grains, I think it was, and something else. I'm not sure. So, a lot of, well, I guess all mock meats are usually made with beans, soybeans. So they're good on iron. Basically, all this stuff would be replaced so that people wouldn't really need to do that per se. Like the main thing that you really need to supplement is vitamin D3, because a lot of people don't get that. That's just like if you don't get enough sun, you take those types of supplements.
Yeah, people.
B12, even when you're eating meat, you want to get that too.
Yeah.
That's really about it. That's the other supplements that you generally take. So if you're replacing burgers, soybeans are usually the way to go. That's like the cheapest in terms of making fake meats. People use soy. That's made from beans.
How was it? Because you guys tried the Impossible Burger, right? How was it?
It was good. It was really good.
Did you hear they got like $100-something million of funding?
For
yeah, couple. I think it was this week. They got over $100 million in funding to like keep going and like perfect it.
Well, the Impossible Worker is at Andrea's. This pretty. It's we haven't done enough research on soy. There isn't really consensus on how bad or good soy is, so you really have to consume a lot of soy for what estrogen is in there for it to actually affect you.
I don't know.
But I mean, if say like all burgers were replaced with soy, and you look at the people who are eating burgers left and right, like there are people who eat burgers for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and eat multiple ones. Like that will actually have an effect on people.
Yeah, like it definitely
every single meal, every single day, for their entire life. That's definitely something.
No, but the Impossible Burger.
Yeah, that's at Andrea's. I don't know if I hadn't heard anything about funding or anything.
Well, it's like its own company. Like it's the Impossible Company. It's the name of the company that makes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they distribute it like all over.
Gotcha.
They're putting like a lot of fucking science into it.
Gotcha.
Shit.
It's pretty good. Where I get it at Andrea's, that's the only place that's around that has that. It's kind of like a Korean, Asian style burger. So when I had it, I was like, this isn't what I was expecting. It's not bad. It's just that's not what I was going for. What I thought I was going to get.
Yeah. A lot of people online, because I was looking through the comments of that post because I saw it on Reddit. I was reading the article about their funding, but a lot of people online, it was kind of like polarized on whether people like the burgers or not. But there was a good few people that said that it's really it has to be made just the right way for it to be really good, which would make sense. It would make a lot of sense as to why it's so polarized, if that is a good representation of how people feel about it. But
about the burger, yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about any type of meat that you're making, like if you don't cook it right,
you can fuck it up.
You can fuck it up.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, tofu tastes bad. I'm like, well, you have to cook it right. Some people eat tofu just like straight up.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
I know. I'm like, how does that?
The consistency is like jello-y. It's like Jello mixed with fucking like pudding or something.
It depends what you get. There's like soft, medium, firm, extra firm, and then there's like extra firm.
What is that? Just like a chocolate bar?
Kind of. Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
Not like a chocolate bar, but I was gonna.
Does it like break apart and stay like?
It's like.
Is it still soft? Do you bite through it or do you bite into it?
You'd really have to try it for yourself. It's like you compare things to tofu, but you can't really describe tofu itself. It's something that it's like the base that you refer to.
Yeah.
What is tofu like? It's I'm trying to compare it to something else. It's so fucking hard. It's kind of like Jello, but let's say like 5 times firmer.
That sounds about right.
It's tough to say.
You ever do the tofu like squeezers or whatever?
Yeah,
that was worth it.
When I was eating a lot of tofu, yeah, I was doing that.
What is that? That just makes it more firm, or does
you want to get like the juices out of it so you can cook it more properly. Like it's kind of like thawing meat in a sense. Like if it's frozen, it's not going to work. If there's a lot of moisture inside the tofu, it doesn't really cook properly, or it doesn't absorb a lot of the taste. So, but some people don't give a shit. I'm like, okay. Like if you put it in an oven, you don't really need to do that. So,
do you think that they'll ever be able to just grow like meat, like true meat? Like instead of like having a cow, like a consciousness and everything, you think they'd be able to just like use stem cells to grow?
I mean, I think I've heard a little bit about people like synthesizing meat.
What if they could like alter it though? What if they could take out some of the negative aspects of it, but still keep it pretty much intact? Would you try it that way? Like, I don't know what part of me is what causes the heart issues, but if they, theoretically, if they could take that out with retaining the taste and everything, and wasn't attached to an animal, would you try it?
That's kind of hard because it's not...
Yeah, no, I'm not asking for like, plus like whatever you say, like, you know, if it did happen, it would be dependent completely on the situation. I'm just like...
it's tough to say because the problem with make carcinogen-free meat... well, the problem with saying that is... the main problem with meat in our digestive system is that physiologically we're not made to consume meat. Like our intestines are too long. If you look at the intestines of carnivores, their intestines are much, much shorter. So it just gets in, they get the nutrients that they need, and it just gets out of their body as soon as possible. It's in our system for too long, and when it starts decomposing and decaying, that's how it causes problems in our body.
So like what, at that point, what is the difference between meat and non-meats in the intestines? Like what component makes the difference that makes that be an issue?
What components in the meat? Well, it's just usually we don't have the right acids in our body to break it down properly. Like when we start consuming meat, our body makes different types of enzymes to break down meat, and that's not normally what it does. Like our body is adaptive in the sense that it can change what it needs to for certain situations to an extent. Obviously, it's not it doesn't primarily do that. It can for a while. That's why we like developed cooking. It's like because we don't really eat meat straight up. Obviously, people don't like the taste of it, the consistency. It's hard to like break through and chew that because we don't have the teeth for it. But I don't know exactly what components of meat are bad. I just know that part of it is that like when it decays, like, you know, people don't eat like decaying meat, you know, when if you see like there's maggots in there, if you leave it out for like a day or something, you don't eat that type of meat or anything like that. But we just can't like break it down fast enough so that it doesn't get to that point. I mean, most of the time that it does happen like that. But it just like how cancer, the way cancer happens in your body is that when cells reproduce or when they multiply, it just doesn't happen correctly and it turns into a cancer cell. Like,
and then it fucks up the one next to it, and then so on. Yeah,
your cells multiply 99.99999 what have you perfectly all the time, but then that 0.1% turns into a cancer cell. And when your body isn't working properly, it makes your body more susceptible to making those bad cells. Or when you're not putting the proper stuff into it, it makes it more susceptible to do stuff like that. And that's why a lot of people get like colon cancer. It's that it doesn't exit the body properly. It stays in there too long, and a lot of stuff is left behind. Oh my god. They have like videos of people doing colonoscopies, and like they put cameras in there to see like what they have going on, and it's fucking horrible. Oh my god! It looks nasty, it looks like you're going through. Now, mind you, these are people who are like 50, you know, like after doing it for a while. Yeah. But when they go through, it looks like something from like a cartoon or Conker's Bad Fur Day. You saw that when they're in like that area with the giant poop that sings. No. It's disgusting. It's horrible. So, I mean, I don't know.
Millennials are getting higher rates of colon cancer. That's crazy. Maybe due to prevalence. Dude, probably. See, this is why we should just... I want someone like on the Joe Rogan podcast that can just fucking look shit up for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we can be like, hey, what's this statistic? Or like, what's this thing?
Andy.
I don't think we would, because I would look for clarification on some vegan thing, and he would just go immediately to whatever said no.
Oh my god.
Doesn't matter what it would be.
Yeah,
just
it's like
no.
he'll look something up, and the first thing that's like he'll look at the title of the link, and if it supports his argument, he'll use it.
Yeah.
He'll send it to you, be like,
like,
look at this thing.
You gotta look at everything.
He doesn't like.
I know.
Remember, I told you about. Yeah, no. Obviously, you look at both sides of the argument before you make something. But I told you about that argument we were having about cocaine, how it's not vegan, and he was sending me links before he even read them.
You, like,
before he even read them, he sent me the link because of the title, and I read through these things, and there's no research behind it. There's no surveys. Like, obviously, it has to be off of like anecdotal, more or less, just because like it's an illegal drug, so you can't really do too much research on it. But God, like there were no links to studies or anything at all in these. There's one thing he sent me that was like, it could possibly be cut with milk powder, so that makes coconut vegan. And I was like, well, it absolutely matters a percentage, because of like, it's, say, something like a Taki, or foods that are processed in factories that also cook it, or make like milk products or meat products. Like, it's that percentage. It's one thing if it's an ingredient. Yeah, you know, or like, it's another thing different. If it's like it could possibly get in there. But he's like, oh no, it's not. Well,
okay, so like if you break it down from just the animal rights perspective, so like, if it's an ingredient in there, obviously that's like a no-go, because you're saying like, here's money for you giving me this milk product. Like, that's what's intended. And then if it's just made in the same factory, then, you know, you're saying, hey, here's money for a product made by a company that also uses a milk product. I bet some people would, you know, say that, you know, I'm a mega vegan. I don't buy anything from companies. Well, there are people that are like that, and you know, there are products that are made just so happen to be like, if it's a large factory, like it doesn't have to be the company using all of it. Like they can own certain areas. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to get at as well. Stuff like that. But some people are like that, you know. Like, I think Sandra is against. McDonald's has that McVegan burger in the UK. Which I do want to try it. Like, I want to try and see if they did well on it or something. But it's doing pretty good where it's at right now. Which is like, yeah, I just don't want to support McDonald's in any way. And I'm like, I can understand that. It's a little bit of like, it's like up in the air. It's nothing too serious per se. But like, things that are absolute is you don't consume these products. Yeah. You don't buy products that have it in there. Yeah. Because then that's directly supporting it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because like, if a company sells stuff that's like animal products, but if it's a company that also sells products that doesn't have it in there, and you're using your money to buy that, that's you influencing what they produce based off of what exactly. That's what I'm getting at. They're going to be like, oh, okay, so like in a theoretical mega vegan world where like everyone is vegan, they would be like, oh, okay, people want this and not this, so we're going to make more of this, and we're going to stop making this. That's like the general idea. Yeah, if we're living in like a capitalist society, which we are, you have to you change these companies based on what you buy, you know, where you put your money. Yeah. Like, if it's just a company that I can understand, if it's like a company that makes all products that have animal products in it, and they don't have anything that's an alternative or that you can buy there, and you just go to a different company, then at that point they say, oh, our prices and our sales are going down, and why? Yeah. Because this other company is just fulfilling a need that we aren't. So what about a company that sells a majority, like, let's say they sell, all products are somehow animal based. It might not be food or like anything, but they sell one thing that's like a tool or a utensil or something, just one, that, you know, it's not animal based at all, like, you couldn't, could you buy that? Because you're supporting the company and like their values. I'm assuming it would be like a company that, like, you know.
Yeah, so like say like a clothing company, like a high class clothing company. Like,
wait, can you wear wool?
No.
Yeah, so like, what if it was a clothing company?
Yeah, so like,
just
that's
wool,
what. Yeah, just say they usually make material out of wool, but they have like 1 or 2 products that are like polyester or cotton or something like that.
What if they only sold...
Well, I think the argument that you're talking about, like, say it's I can't really think of any company that's like that. They have like one random thing that isn't that, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, it's a company like McDonald's, except they also sell wrenches.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. I gotta see where you're getting at. Like, all of their products usually are animal products, except they have something that just really doesn't have any way of being like that. I don't know if that necessarily works, because I don't think that really influences their decisions in terms of their other products, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with that, or isn't in the same line. But I don't really know of any companies that are like that, you know?
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know. I was thinking of like...
I'm thinking maybe...
I was thinking like a farm that sells like spoons or something. I don't know.
They also sell spoons or like wood figurines or something like that.
Yeah, just something like that. I don't know.
I'm thinking the closest thing I can think to that is maybe like gas stations. But then again, it's like all food, but they also sell like, you might have some engine oil. Like, there might be some stuff for your car there, but it's usually, you know, like all food or beverages around there.
Yeah. I don't know. I really feel like it just comes down. I'm like, I don't think there's an objective way to be like the perfect vegan, right?
Yeah,
like
there's
there's a very like baseline where it's don't eat, you know, stuff with animal products in it as an ingredient.
Don't eat or buy animal products.
Well, no, I'm saying like, as a vegan, you know, because there are people who are vegans just on their diet, you know.
Well, that's a difference that people need to make, is that there's...
You think there should be a different word?
Vegan is a lifestyle, and then there's plant-based. People follow a plant-based diet. That's different. People who are vegan don't buy products and stuff, like, say, like shampoos, toothpastes, basically any like stuff that you're not necessarily consuming, but you are using on your body. Like, you don't use any like lotion that might have some honey in it or stuff like that, or I was gonna say gum, but I guess that's something that you consume. It's just taking that little extra step, you know.
Yeah.
But following a plant-based diet, I feel like people need to make that distinction.
Yeah. Do you think there should be another like word for it outside of just like a plant-based diet?
People usually just say plant-based. Sometimes people call it like whole food diet. I don't know. I feel like the wordage of it is fine right now. It doesn't really have to be something that's catchy or people want to say.
Yeah. Like, it's just a describer.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So, I don't remember how we got to this point.
I don't remember either.
So you were like, what if the world just went vegan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So is there like a degree of association with the animal products that's kind of like, can you be second degree associated with animal products? Like, you're trying really hard to not be like associated in the first degree, but well, like it's hard.
What do you consider the first degree?
Okay, so like you don't buy an animal product, but a second degree would be like you don't use a product that was created because
like
of
animal testing.
Yeah, I guess that could be a good example. That one's kind of harder though because that has its own like connotation behind it. Because some people just straight up don't like animal testing.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of it myself, but I would be more so saying like, I don't know, the company uses horse-drawn carriages to move their product to the local store in your town. That'd be like a second degree. Because it's not an animal product, but it was created because of an animal.
Yeah, so I feel like that would just fall. People would usually put that like under animal testing. Animal testing is usually like the product isn't necessarily. That's a pretty fine line. I feel like that's a pretty like minuscule detail.
Yeah.
But I mean it's like a very small margin of areas or people would do something like that.
Well, I'm just saying because like if some people would not buy something from a company that sells mostly like animal products, if they would buy something from a company who doesn't like sell animal products, but their products are, you know, derived from animals in one way or another, however
So
that is.
something like an aquarium.
Kind of.
Really
That's another
sell.
thing that has like its own connotation behind it though. Cause
They don't necessarily sell animal products, but they're
Yeah, how
profits.
do vegans feel about aquariums and zoos? I mean, like
cool
zoos.
with that. Like there's a difference between zoos and like rescue establishments.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can.
Most zoos are fucked up though.
Yeah, they.
Dude, I saw this thing the other day. I think this is even yesterday, but this one zoo, I don't remember which one it is, but they have a polar bear, and the polar bear went fucking crazy in its thing.
They go crazy. They get cage madness. A lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of
you know what
animals
it.
get that.
You know what it did? The video isn't on loop. It's a live stream, but the bear will walk to one spot, and then he'll look to the right, then he'll look to the left, then he'll look to the right again, and then he'll walk to another spot, and then immediately walk back and do the same thing.
Yeah.
And he'll do that all day until he falls asleep.
They go crazy. They go insane.
It was fucking sad. I watched that for like 10 minutes, and I could not fucking believe it.
Yeah.
I thought it was on loop, because he was doing the exact fucking same thing. But here's the thing, like, I wasn't watching a stream during regular hours. It's a 24-hour cam. It was like 1 a.m. And this bear is in like an empty fucking facility, just walking around his cage, repeating the same movement over and over. It's fucked up.
It's tough. That's really like tough on animals. They go
Yeah,
insane. And then another thing too is like if you take animals out of zoos or that aren't really socialized in terms
they're not ready for it.
Yeah, they can't go there. But then that's when you take them to like rescue establishments that are put them in a safer environment with other animals that are along the same lines.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I'm not very for zoos.
Yeah.
Or they do a lot of boycotting for SeaWorld.
Yeah, SeaWorld's a piece of shit, but like, so some animals are like more able to be adaptive to that, right?
Well, the thing is that like if you're making a profit off of holding them there, that's the thing.
So non-profit zoos are...
Yeah, that's usually just, it's not really like a zoo necessarily. It's like a rescue habitat, but you can come like interact with the animals and whatnot. Like they have some farms that are for like goats or sheep or something, or rescue animals, and you can just come and interact with them. But any profits that you like, they usually have like an entry fee. But the fee is always just to go straight towards maintaining the land that they're on and keeping the animals safe and healthy and whatnot. So I don't know. I that's what I had thought about. That's a little. That's a pretty fine line to be crossed.
Don't some animals like have to be milked or else they'll get like fucking health issues?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, if you think about it that way, then like, how did they live at all before we started doing that?
Well, like if they had a baby and the baby died, and the baby would have been required to like take the milk out of the mother, but the mother's still producing the milk and now has no way to release it, and the mother would die because the baby died because of like a complication or something.
Well, yeah, but I think that's saving the animal's life, but you don't, and then people will just take that extra step, like, oh, I'll drink the milk.
I volunteer as tribute.
I'll help you out.
How do like, from a vegan perspective, how would that like work? Eating something that's a byproduct of saving an animal's life. Not talking about like meat or anything like that, because I know there's like things with that, and I'm sure there's probably some shit about like milk or something like that, but outside of a nutritional standpoint, if it's a byproduct from saving an animal's life or something like that, or something that benefited the animal objectively.
So we'll use your example of like milking a cow to save its life.
Mm-hmm.
Because the baby died, and that is a problem. Like some animals like have to be milked if they have kids or they have babies and then they die or something. Like that.
Exactly.
That'll save their life. But then you just go to the argument of it's not optimal for our bodies to consume it per se. And
but like
one quarrel I do have with that argument is like they'll be like, oh, not your mom, not your milk, stuff like that. I'm like, but animals do drink milk from other animals. Like, that happens in nature. Mm-hmm. Like, some animals will take on babies of different species if they're left out because they just have, like, that maternal or paternal instinct to protect them. And those babies will drink the milk of a different animal. Like, you'll see pigs drinking milk from a dog.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's a silly argument. Yeah. Because plus it's like, not all babies of all species eat milk. Like, birds will like regurgitate and shit like that. Yeah, and it's coming from somewhere else. Like,
yeah, but I'm sure that argument is really just to be like, hey, it's bad on them, and we're forcing our will upon them just to like, drink that type of milk.
I understand like the idea of it kind of makes sense, where you're like, these animals evolved over time to make nutrients specifically for that, body style for that particular animal and like composition, what they need. So like I kind of understand how that would make sense at first, but I think like like you were saying, it happens.
Yeah, like it happens in nature, but obviously it's a very rare thing. Yeah, very, very rare. Yeah. So it's just enforcing our will upon them and what we want. That's the problem.
Could I put the milk in my mouth and taste it and then spit it out? And then rinse my mouth out really good. If I don't consume it.
I mean, well, like, what would be the point of that?
I wanted to taste the milk.
I'm quelling my desire to taste the milk.
That's something I always thought about. Like, okay, so if you really wanted to eat something, but like, okay, so like an eating disorder is like you throw up after, right? What if you just didn't eat it? What if you just chewed it up and was like, that's good, and you spit it out?
You still have this prior argument. It's like, are you forcing your will on these animals?
Well, I mean, I was saying like, we got the milk from saving the cow's life.
Yeah, but like if it's meat, obviously.
Oh, meat. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a totally.
But some people will be like, oh, well, if you find the animal dead out in nature, and like, well, when does that ever happen? In what way would that ever be sustainable? Yeah. So I don't know. It's a tough thing.
It's interesting. Definitely interesting. What would be like required to have like vegan meat? Does it have to just be truly synthetic, or could it be still derived from like animal cells? Like if they had meat that like was grown, no consciousness, and they had it with a structure that was able to be like broken down by the enzymes in our stomach and our like body to be like ready for our body to eat. If somehow they could do that with it like staying in its structure, which might not be possible, but I'm just saying theoretically, if they could do that, do you think the vegan community would be open to it?
I feel like they would be open to it, but I think one argument that people would have would be, what would be the point of going through all that trouble when you can already just do that with what we have now in terms of plants,
Yeah.
But then the argument on that side would be, oh, we like the flavor or the texture or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
It's hard to just cut an entire society off from...
Oh, absolutely.
Because, like...
It definitely has to take a time and change. And...
We, like, need to eat less meat, but I don't know how it's going to happen. I genuinely I don't think it's going to happen from people just slowly turning vegan over time. I think something has to, like, change.
Oh, definitely. Like, people... I think one byproduct of the vegan movement is not necessarily turning people vegan, like, right off the bat, but teaching them to understand, like, where their food is actually coming from on a more widespread scale. Like, obviously people talk about it, but I feel like that's one thing that is really, I guess, pushed if you look at any type of, like, vegan activist movement or people who are protesting. They're usually like, hey, this is where your food's coming from. Understand where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So I think it's just pushing healthier habits. I mean, obviously they're pushing, like, a vegan diet, but I think one thing that it's getting, regardless of accepting that diet or not, is a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think people are, like, exercising more.
Yeah, we are. I think more
people are finally accepting that, like, a shit ton of people are just sitting at a desk job all day. You need to get something going on. I think today was a productive podcast.
Yes, sir.
I liked it.
We're there.
That was good. Do you have an idea for your question for next time?
I'm not sure, but we can cut that. And then we can talk about it. All right, Iram. Have fun with your homework. You were here with
Iram,
us.
think of a question for next time, and we'll put it in the group chat.
A kiwi.
Grapefruit.
Avocado. I just had that.